Okay, everyone, let's just settle into our meditation posture and just remember our legs flat on the floor if you're parallel on the floor, if you're sitting on a chair or a comfortable cross-legged position. Hips slightly, your coccyx slightly raised, so just slightly tipped. Just keep your spine lengthened so you can imagine these pearls of light just very gently lengthening and pulling you upwards. Hands in the meditation mudra. Give some space in between your arm, under your arms, so you're not tight up against your body. Head slightly tipped forward, eyes down, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Just bring your attention to the crown of your head and just relax your scalp. Just move down to the back of your head. Relax your forehead, your eyes, your ears, nose, cheeks, and your mouth and your jaw. Relax your throat, the back of the neck and your back, your arms, all the way down to your hands and fingers. Relax your belly, and your legs, and your feet and toes. And just check that you haven't slumped. So you want to be alert. So very carefully, mindfully bring your attention to the breath. Just breathing in and breathing out. Just notice the cool air as it's coming in. You might notice a sensation on the base of the nose, and the air is warm as you're breathing out. And then we just think how amazing we can come here together tonight to do this Vajrasattva meditation to purify our minds, our negative karma. And so we're going to be doing this so we clear our karmic slate, so to speak, so we can be of benefit to others, so we can be of benefit to ourselves, and so we don't have any suffering in the future. So we just remind ourselves that there is no negativity that cannot be purified. So there's nothing that we've done that we can't purify. So we should sort of take some comfort in that. So we're going again to our 4 opponent powers, the first of which is the power of regret. So again, we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything we have done to harm any living being today, this life, this year, last year, this week, and perhaps past lives, just generally things we can't remember. And we can maybe try and reflect on a specific action that we may have done with our body or our speech, or a negative thought that we've had about ourselves or others. And we're doing this purification because we don't want to suffer in the future. And so we think that I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body, my speech, and my mind. And remember, regret is different from guilt. Regret is more the energy of taking responsibility, accepting what you've done, and then wanting to change. So we come to the power of reliance. So how are we going to purify? What methods are we going to use? So here we're going to use the method of the Buddha Vajrasattva. So we don't need Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. It's just that we're using the methods, we're relying upon the methods, his methods, to purify us. So now we visualize above the crown of our head. Matt, if you could please put up the picture. Thank you. So you can imagine about 2 inches above the crown of our head. This is this Buddha Vajrasattva. Translucent, brilliant light, almost like a hologram. You can feel the force of this energy on the crown of your head. You're sitting cross-legged on a white lotus, or in this case it's a multicolored lotus. And you imagine his face is radiant and beautiful. He has these, they call them lotus-like eyes. This very peaceful face, and looking at us with incredible compassion, kindness. Really, really pleased to see us, really wanting to help us. And also being able to see all the things that we've done, all the things that we like, these pieces of ourselves that we like to hide from others. He can see everything, but he doesn't really care. Just loves us for who we are. His mouth is red, his sweet red lips, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. And his arms are crossed at his heart, left underneath the right, although it's not quite exactly in this picture here. The left is holding a bell, which representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed, this represents the union of these. And this symbolizes enlightenment. So we just say a refuge prayer to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. So there's this little extra bit here called compassion. So we need, in order to be able to develop compassion, we do need other sentient beings to be an object of our compassion. So in this case, we think of the very beings we have harmed. We develop compassion for them. And then maybe even perhaps people you don't realize you've harmed. Perhaps the people you've forgotten you've harmed. The sentient beings. And then also have compassion for the people who have harmed us. Because they are going to suffer in the future. So we also have in our mind that we are going to do this purification practice for the sake of others. So now we come to the power of the remedy, which is the actual medicine, the practice. So first of all, we do the purification of the body. So just you can think there's negativities of the body, stealing. So if anything you've stolen, sexual misconduct, and killing. So just imagine Guru Vajrasattva from his heart. This sends powerful, this kind of nectar, blissful, radiant nectar from his heart. It arcs around and enters into our crown and pours into our entire body, filling us completely. And it keeps kind of pouring in, and it forces out of our lower orifices all the harm we've ever done to any living being with our body in the form of this kind of thick, black, yucky, inky liquid. And it pours out of us, all of our lower orifices, and disappears into space, doesn't cause any pollution. And then there's not, imagine where there's not a single atom left. So we just recite the mantra as we visualize this. Matt, if you wouldn't mind putting up the Vajrasattva, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebeyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebeyatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa, Sutokaya Mebawa, Supokaya Mebawa, Anarakta Mebawa, Sawa Siddhi Mebeyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So just be delighted that all the harm we have ever done to any sentient being with our body is completely purified, and think that there's no way that we could ever do any harm to another sentient being, and that all we're going to be able to do with our body is to be of benefit to others. We just have this aspiration. So the next is a purification of speech. So the negativities of the speech are lying, speaking harshly to others, harsh words, unkind words, speaking about people behind their back in a negative way, spreading rumors, and then just gossiping generally, wasting your time on talking about nothing that's particularly interesting or valuable to others. So again, we visualize that Guru Vajrasattva really happily again sends this blissful, radiant nectar from his heart. It arcs around and enters the crown of our head into our body, again filling us up, except this time all the negativities of the speech kind of floating up on the top of the nectar as it fills to the top of us and kind of pours out the top. So all the negativities of the speech pours out of the top part of our body, our orifices. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebeyatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebeyatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebeyatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So just imagine that all the gossip, the harsh speech, the useless speech, the lying and talking badly about others behind their backs completely purified by all this incredibly blissful, powerful nectar. Just feel that our speech has been completely purified and really, really feel happy about this. And just think there's no way that I could ever do anything ever again with our speech that harms another sentient being. And we can only be of benefit to others with our speech. The minute we open our mouths, whatever comes out is beneficial to others. So the next is a purification of the mind. So Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends out powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And these again arc around and enter the crown, our crown chakra, filling our entire being. So as LAMA YESHE says, as soon as you turn on the light in a room, it dispels the darkness. So in this way, as soon as the light hits our heart, all of a sudden you imagine all the negativities of our mind, all our depression, our anger, our jealousy, neediness and grasping, self-doubt, unhappiness, these kind of deluded ideas that we have about things, all instantly disappeared, all completely purified as we visualize, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mepe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mepe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. And then just be delighted that all of our delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause for why we harm others, completely purified, totally gone. And then think that there is no space in our heart now for anything except love and kindness, and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So now we're purifying even the subtlest imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And so this time you can imagine Guru Vajrasattva do all three visualizations all at once, if you can. If you can't, just visualize light. So the nectar flowing down and all the negatives of the body going out of the lower part of the body, and the nectar flowing in and all the negatives of the speech flowing out of the upper parts of the body, and then just the light coming and dispelling all the negativities of our mind. So we just try and do this all at once, otherwise just imagine light. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mepe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mepe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawa siddhi mepayatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. And now we feel that we're completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in our mind stream. And all these very, very subtle obscurations to omniscience have been removed. We just feel really happy with ourselves. And so we come to the fourth opponent power, the power of resolve. And here we make a determination that we're not going to harm again. Well, it won't be again. We just have to be realistic about what we are able to do right now. So we just give ourselves permission to do it step by step. Just do what we can. And I personally find the easiest one is to say there's something I will refrain from doing between the time I go to bed and the time I get up in the morning. Because it's definitely not going to happen. And we can give ourselves a time limit. We can sort of say between 10 and 10:30 tomorrow morning, I am not going to gossip about so-and-so. Or I'm not going to spend time on my computer doing unnecessary things between this time and this time. So if we have a particular addiction, we can maybe refrain from that for 5 minutes or 1 hour or a day. So this determination to change or to try and reduce these negativities that we're doing is really a big step on the way to not doing these things anymore. We have to really want to not do something. It gives us courage. So now we just imagine Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us. So he merges with our mind, and what he does is he melts into light, dissolves into us through the crown of our head. And we sort of think, as we visualize in this, we think, my mind, my Guru's mind, if you have a teacher, Vajrasattva's mind, body and speech are all one. So now we just have a little try again at meditating on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, no creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So just very simply, just think about all phenomena as being empty from their own side. They do not exist from their own side. And sometimes I find it helps to say or to think things are not really what they seem. Things aren't really the way we think they are. It just helps to loosen this concrete view we have of things, the world, the situations, something that's going on in our life. So let's just dedicate all the merit, so all the positive energy that we have created by doing this purification to all living beings. And you might know somebody who isn't very well or is dying or is having a difficult time. So you can just think of them and dedicate the practice that we've done this evening to them as well. And we can think that may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Matt, do you have our dedication prayers? Oh, that's right, measurable thoughts. Measurable equanimity. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the closeness of attachment and the distance of hatred. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Measurable loving kindness. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to achieve Buddhahood. May they achieve Buddhahood. I myself will cause them to achieve Buddhahood. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable compassion. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be free from suffering and its causes. I myself will cause them to be free from suffering and its causes. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable joyfulness. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of higher rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Okay, so now, dedication prayers. As a result of the 3 times merits of myself and others, may bodhicitta, from which the happiness of all sentient beings comes, be generated in the minds of self and other sentient beings without delay, even for 1 second. And that which has been generated may it increase. As a result of the 3 times merits of myself and others, may emptiness be generated in the minds of self and other sentient beings without delay, even for 1 second. And that which has been generated, may it increase. Okay, we'll just go for the long life prayers now, please, Matt. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. To the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Lama Zopa Rinpoche's prayer. You who uphold the subdurer's moral way, who serves as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjanath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the 3 jewels, savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And Lama Ursil. Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.